Hello, hello, hello. This is my first live on YouTube ever and my first live of 2024. I haven't burst into flames yet, so that makes me feel like I'll survive. Going live is very nerve-wracking, I'm not gonna lie, but here I am on today, doing it anyway. My goals for 2024, as far as content creating goes, is to focus mostly on YouTube. So that's why I'm doing this live. I need to get my practice in. I gotta get my reps in. I'm not gonna get better at going live if I never do it. Right? That's impossible. It's impossible to get better at something if you're not trying. And after my one-on-one call with Jazzy at Cappuccinos and Consignment, I let her know that I was going to commit to going live, get that practice in, and here I am. I'm doing it because I am a woman of my word. By the way, if you haven't booked a call with Cappuccinos and Consignment, a one-on-one call, I highly recommend it. She's great at helping you strategize and just giving you an overdose of confidence and helping you along on your journey, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be content creation. It could just be, what the phase that you are in life. It could be personal stuff, business stuff, family life. So I highly recommend her. Jazzy at Cappuccinos and Consignments. I'm pretty sure I can add later on in the description her YouTube page, so I'll be sure to go ahead and do that. As I was saying, my goal is to focus mostly on YouTube this year. Not mostly. My goal is to focus on YouTube this year. One of the things I did wrong, but I also don't want to say, one of the lessons I learned last year was I was really focused on getting the ball rolling, just going, content creating, and I had my eggs in way too many baskets. I was over here on Instagram, on YouTube, I was on my Shopify doing my blog, and attempting to do all these things and learning how to do them. It was a recipe for burnout, and I did burn out. I did. I was learning how to edit videos for YouTube and running into constant problems, and editing just would take longer and longer, and that becomes frustrating and tiresome, and you lose your steam. And then on Instagram I was having issues with just reaching an audience. I am taking a personal page and turning it into a content creator page. So making that switch from family and friends to an audience is tough. It's tough. Getting them to interact with you and share your videos and watch the videos. It's just like, ooh, pulling teeth. And then with my blog, I was so tired. I was just so tired trying to do the editing and the uploading of the videos. By the time I got to blogging, I didn't want to write nothing. I didn't want to write a thing. And I was paying for that Shopify website and I wasn't selling nothing. So I wasn't selling nothing and I wasn't really getting a lot of views. The blog posts, which is why I ended up closing my Shopify store. I took a really long break on Instagram. I was probably about a month and a half not really posting anything. I would go and post on my stories, but I wasn't really posting anything. I'm sure you notice on YouTube I've just been uploading shorts because I needed a break from editing videos, and it just all became overwhelming. Really, I tried to do too much at once, and lessons were learned. That's okay. 2024, YouTube will be the main focus. Instagram's on the back burner. I have some ideas on how I can get a blog back up and running, because I do think it's important to have a website, a way that people can reach me directly rather than having to go to a social media platform. Again, on my call with Jazzy at Cappuccinos and Consignment, she suggested doing voice recordings and then converting that speech to text for my blog post. That way I don't have to set aside time to type up a blog post. It's already written for me, and then I can just go in there and edit. And I'm going to do that. I think that is a wonderful suggestion. I'm homeschooling and I'm also pregnant, so your girl is tired and I need to find ways to offset the tiredness and not overwork myself. And with Instagram, I think I'm just going to just have fun with it. I'm not going to worry about the audience reach or how many people have seen this reel or are people interacting. I'm just going to keep posting what I want, what I like. If people interact, that's fantastic. If they don't, that's okay too. And another reason why I really want the blog is because once I drop this baby out, once I pop this baby out, drop this baby, one of those things, I'm probably not going to want to be on camera. Let's be honest here. But I would still like to communicate with everyone and let them know what's going on in my world postpartum. Why not write about it? I think it's a great fallback. You know, I still enjoy reading blog posts, and I'm sure there's people out there who enjoy reading them too. And hopefully I'll have enough videos in the tuck to still upload on YouTube when I've just had the baby. That way I don't have to worry about being on camera. Ugh. Postpartum is tough. Nobody wants to be on camera those first few days. I'm sorry. Shout out to all the birthers who get on camera minutes after having a baby. I am not one of those people. I just want to be in my bubble and hide. That's what I want to do. And I need to prep for that. So, come baby time, you know, when we're getting closer to the due date, I need to pull back a little bit so I can just be on the blog, type, and not worry about being a figurehead on all of the social media apps. Another lesson that I learned last year content creating was my priorities. I made content creation a priority, which is great. It's important. However, my top priority has to be homeschool. I cannot put content creating above homeschooling. It's just not something that I can do. The education of my child is more important than creating content. It is what it is. And there was a time period where I was staying up late, editing videos, putting things together, reels, shorts, long form posts for the blog, and so tired in the morning that I couldn't even get through a lesson. No more. You can't do that. I switched that up at the second half of the year, and I am so happy that I did because my daughter had huge progression the second half of the year, and I attribute that to focusing my attention on homeschooling, my first job. Non-paying as well, but it's still my first job. Homeschooling is the first job, and then it's content creation, but I have to remember homeschooling is first, and also caring for the other children who are not homeschooling. One of the things that she was able to excel at because I focused was reading. She went from learning how to read in like October of 2022 to fast forward October 2023, she was reading books all on her own. I mean, at this point in time, she has read 2 graphic novels on her own. She has completed the first book in the Captain Underpants series, which brings me so much happiness because I loved that book as a kid. And she wants to continue that series. She's taken on story time before bedtime. She's read books to her siblings for me when, maybe I'm doing her sister's hair, and she'll just take the lead and read the books. Oh, thank goodness. I don't have to worry about it, which is fantastic. So she has just excelled. And again, it's because we focused on the things that are most important, which was homeschooling. Also, because she was in that theater class. That theater class definitely helped her gain confidence in her reading because she had some very large lines with words that she had, what archaic was one of the words she had to read, and we had to learn that word. It's not really a word that you would read at 6. And once she saw that, like, hey, I could read all of my lines and memorize them, I have 3 different parts, it was over after that. She's reading everything now, which we have to also remember that she reads everything now. Can't really keep secrets anymore. And with math, because I focused on the homeschooling and what she was learning, and I didn't put content creation as my top priority, I then realized, oh, you know what? She's not where she needs to be in math, because the program that I was originally using was just passing her on once she learned a skill. Not mastered a skill, but learned a skill. It was passing her on. I switched over to Math with Confidence, and I see the difference. She's actually learning how to master each skill before we move on to the next section. And I'm glad we made that change. And we'll do the end of the year test, and I have full confidence that she'll excel at it. And then with science, she loves science, so she always trying to do a science project. That girl knows more about rocks and what else is she really interested in? Rocks. I mean, she's talking about making a bird feeder recently. She, yeah, she loves science. And I'm overall, I am happy that I switched my focus, and I want to make sure that I continue that in 2024. First and foremost, homeschooling, then content creation. Another lesson that I learned was I need to lean on the people who are already doing it, that are offering me help. I have access to people who are creating content and doing really cool things with it, and I don't take advantage of that, and I need to. I really do. I need to reach out to them, ask them questions, especially if they've already offered their assistance. What is stopping me from doing that? And that's something I did not do in 2023. And going into 2024, I'm going to reach out and ask for help. I'm going to do that because I don't know everything, and I could get to where I want to be so much faster if I would just reach out and say, hey, I'm trying to do this thing. I don't know how to do it. Can you just give me a quick overview and I'll figure it out from there? And I know that they would say yes, but I just never want to, I don't want anyone to ever think I'm taking advantage of them. So that's why I don't ask for help. But I'm going to go ahead and do that in 2024. And I'm just going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. And most important, the one major change I'm going to make, and it's a lesson that I learned last year, and I'm moving forward, I'm going to work on improving this thing that I do. I'm not going to be so rigid. I have this type of personality where it's all or nothing. And when I don't complete what I see that in my mind, like, oh, I didn't do the 5 things on my list, I get so down on myself that I don't think it's worth continuing. For example, with my last pregnancy, I didn't get on the bike one day. And I told myself, if you don't get on this bike, you're probably never gonna work out again this pregnancy. And I said self, and that's okay. And I never worked out again, because if I wasn't gonna do it every day, what was the point? That's my thought process, but that's not how it should be. So I need to flow like water. Shout out to Jessie again. She suggested I need to be more even keel, less rigid, instead of having daily goals, maybe set a weekly goal. One example that I have is I'm going to go live 4 times this month. I don't know when that's going to be. That could be 4 times this week, and then I'm good. I've met my goal. It could be once a week. It could be today and then 3 times at the end of the month. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it will happen. Just 4 times this month I will go live. It's my goal for January. I also don't have, like, what are you supposed to do? Resolutions. I don't have resolutions this year. I felt really overwhelmed. I had a friend ask me, like, what's your New Year's resolution? I didn't even text them back because I'm that overwhelmed with the idea of having a a whole goal and plan for 2024. I don't want one ginormous plan. I don't want to think about it. I just need to take everything in pieces. I'm gonna break it up this year. That's what I need to do. Just break everything up. So that way I'm not like, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do. But also, one of the reasons that I got burnt out last year was because I didn't necessarily have a plan. I had goals, but no plan. And my hope is that if I break everything up by month, maybe even by week, I'll be able to achieve the small goals and then reach my one large goal. And it won't feel as overwhelming as this is what I need to do for the year. And that's all I did. I didn't really have a plan. I was just like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Girl, you got to have a plan. Like, you got to have steps. How you going to achieve it? What are we doing to get there, right? I was trying, and then again, I was trying to do everything at once. I was trying to do everything at once. I didn't really have a plan on how to get there. And then what I expect, of course, I got burned out. Of course, I'm going to flow like water this year and not be as rigid, meaning I'm not going to be so down on myself if I don't get something done that day. I could do it the next day. It's okay. Life happens. I have 3 kids, one on the way. I'm about to have my 4th child. I am homeschooling. I'm trying to also manage the home while I'm doing all this. That's a lot of work. I know people don't think it's work, but it is work, right? Cleaning. I was gonna lie and say cooking, but my husband cooks all of the dinners, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't. I don't cook dinner. My husband does that, but I cook breakfast. I make the kids lunch. That's something. That is something. Yeah, so those are my plans. I guess you could call them goals for 2024. And the lessons that I learned from 2023. Yeah. So now you guys know. This is live number 1. I got 3 more to go. Just for the month. Not this week. Not by next week. Just for the month. You may see me on here tomorrow. You may see me on here next week. You may not see me for another 2 weeks. I don't know. But it's okay. It's going to be okay. I'll be back. That I can promise. I hope y'all have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is where you're at. Talk soon.